Welcome, Premium Gang. How's everybody doing today? We are 1 minute early. It's 1:59, but we are in anticipation for Fed minutes here at 2 o'clock, and we'll see what they want to do, what the market wants to do with it. And normally, right, lately, it's been pretty much a spike, a ramp to the upside every single time. I know a lot of people are expecting that today. Now, right there was our first spike. But I wouldn't be shocked to see him take it the other way, only because there's so many people expecting it to go up, right? So here we go. They're trying to now reverse. So let's see what they got going on here. So they spiked it up, they spiked it down. Now let's see if there's any continuation one way or the other. So right now, just sort of hanging out right here in the middle. They may whipsaw it back and forth a while. You've probably seen what I just posted in the room. And, recently, no matter what Powell says, they've been taking it to the upside, just spiking to the upside. Pretty much everybody expects that to happen again today. So the interesting thing will be, do they go ahead and do it even though everybody expects it? Or do they take it the other way and try to pull the rug out from underneath everyone? The only thing we can do is watch, and it's early. So you get that initial spike, and then it spiked up, then it spiked down, and now it's going back up again. So the funny thing is right now the only thing they release at 2 o'clock are the minutes, right? So it's just like the kind of the overview of what happened during the meeting, and then Powell speaks after they release that. So obviously, as you can see here, again, people are just buying the market up. So almost back up to opening price. Okay, we do have a pivot up here. Okay, we do have a pivot up here. So if it continued up, we would look to see if we get any kind of resistance in this area right there. Okay, back up to opening price level. So as normal, no matter what, right? No matter what, they spike it up. So obviously the news, none of that news is good. None of it. Not one bit of it is good news. Even the things they're doing to try to keep the economy, moving in a positive direction, they're not good long term. I hope people understand that. I talk about it all the time. They are not good long term, right? All they're doing is kicking the can down the road, and they're putting us in more and more peril with the things that they're doing. Okay, so right here, okay, right like where we said that we would probably catch some resistance, we are, okay, which is this pivot right through here. So see where my cursor is in that line across there? So now let's see, can they break through there? And if they break through there, Where's it going to go next? Well, then you look for the next pivot, which would be right in here. That's if they break through. And then the next thing would be the top up here. So I'll come back over here for now. Or will they get up in here and then reverse it down? Okay. It'd be interesting to see. But per usual, they spike it up. They spike it up. So, but you see what they did to start, right? They whipsawed. They spiked up, then they spiked down, then they hung out right here for just a couple of minutes, and then they drove it up. So they were trying to get some people out of the way. All right, now it's getting closer, right? It's got to get above there where my cursor is to go even higher. So it's trying to push right now. And we'll go over, let's go over to Twitter while we're waiting. Let's see if there's any news. Okay, stocks turn positive as Fed stays dovish. Fed sees interest rates staying near zero through 2022, right? So another year and a half. Yeah. So no matter what they say, people are just buying this up. See right here, Fed projects no rate increases through 2022. Inflation below 2%. All right, so let's go back over. Okay, still struggling right here. And I wanted to point something else out. So we have this contracting range right here. Okay, what do the textbooks say? What do the textbooks tell us? Well, they say the move is likely to be the same direction as the move into the contracting range. So obviously we had this strong move to the downside and then this contracting range. So they would say the move should happen to the downside. Well, what happened, right? We're going up. Now, this is also a news event, right? So in theory, we don't know that this would happen, but in theory, they could spike it up here just strictly on the news and then price reverse all the way back down through and drop. Okay, so that can happen. But I always tell you, play, right? Play the breakout and don't try to guess. Don't try to guess. So let me get back over here. Dropping back down below opening price level. That's our purple line right here. Obviously, everything over here is green, but not by much, right? Not by much. We're only up $4 or $5 on the day. If it drops much lower, that can go red. Man, wouldn't that be something, man, if they spiked it up and then turned right around and then flushed it. Man, would that trap a bunch of people. Pretty much everything I've seen on Twitter leading up to this, everybody was positive, right? Because why wouldn't they be? Like every single time the Fed comes out lately, like during the COVID-19 crisis, every single time they spike it. They spike it every time. And they did again today. So, I mean, all this was here was a fake out. But that would be the ultimate trap if they spiked it up here and then all of a sudden then they flushed it. Man, that would trap so many people. Because I'm sure I saw some people. Let's see where this comes in at. Well, I was gonna say I saw people calling out like 32.34, which is probably confluent with something over this way, I'm guessing. You know, if it really got going up, obviously I would be looking for the top of the range. We know we have some pivots that we'd have to get through to get up there. And then to the downside, okay, if we did start to get some movement to the downside, if we broke here, obviously here, that's the bottom of this pivot, then you could see a pretty dramatic drop down to at least the 31.44.25 zone, if not lower. And I'll show you what I'm looking at over here. Oh, I just went past it, sorry. Right there. Okay, price is up here right now. We would need to get below here. Okay, so that's why I have this alert. Okay, we need to get below this and then look at that setup. Wow, right? It could just plunge, right? At least to here, if not down to right about there. So let's say 31.38 to about 31.30, like right in there would be some demand. If it didn't bounce here, this is a support level, because look at this, like all these tiny little wicks, all those candles lined up in a nice diagonal. If it came that way and got below here, that thing could just, it could just fall. So again, not saying that's what they're going to do. I'm just saying if it went that direction, that would be entirely possible. Let's get back over here. So they're sort of settling in. So now they're probably waiting to hear Powell speak. I don't watch it because he says the same things almost every single time. You'll know what's being said by what happens. But they have not been able to get over this pivot right here. Okay, they came right up in the area, so they'd have to get above there. They got right up just underneath of it, and then that's where it pulled back. Okay, that's where the seller stepped in. That's still a good move, right? Because I expanded contracted the screen. Let me make it a little bit bigger here. Okay, it gives the candle more realistic value. Okay, obviously this is the biggest candle on the screen. In terms of range, I'm talking about in terms of range. It's the biggest candle. So we'll see here. Might even set an alert right at the top. That way, if we want to look at some other things, we can. And then, let me see, where else should I have one? Let's just say right in here, which should be right around 50%. If it started heading back the other way, I'm just eyeballing it, approximately 50% retracement of the candle from here to here. All right, if it come back through and kind of takes that out, then it could start getting some momentum to the downside. All right, so while we're waiting to see what they're going to do, let's look at some of our. Let me go back to chat. Let's look at some of the watch list from today. See if anything paid off. So let's go to the daily. And now let's run down the list. Okay, we got big. Okay, big would have just triggered, and it would have triggered at 36.80, and it's only been as high as 37.20, so that's only 40 cents. That's nothing spectacular. Beyond. Okay, nothing really on Beyond. Okay, because this is our trigger candle. Crowd. Crowd Strike is the name, but I always just say crowd. Nothing to do there. Actually, it's just now starting to trigger. Just now. See that? I can get a little closer. Just now starting to trigger. Paycom. Today, if you think about it, it would make sense that today would be difficult for a lot of names because they would be waiting on the Fed to make any major moves. I mean, there are names that have made major moves today. Okay, same thing here. Okay, now this one, single candle power reversal. Came all the way down, all the way back through. You could have entered right there at 328.25, and it's been as high as 333.68 or 66 and still going. So that's a $5 move already, and it may go more. It may go more. The advancers, I haven't talked much about them lately, but earlier today they were like in the 500s, and they're up around 1,000. So even though that is a low number, okay, it's been climbing throughout the day. Okay, so that is Paycom. Let's look at TNK. Nothing, no trigger. Okay, here's our candle. We haven't got outside of that. Again, this all makes sense. Okay, it says ES is starting to climb again. So let's do this. Let's take a look. We can come back to the other ones. Okay, look at that candle. All right, there it goes. Okay, you see the pop once it got above there where my cursor was, got that pop, runs into the stops that would have been right here, and it pops it, you know, a couple of dollars. Okay, so now what are you looking at? You're looking at right here, okay, which it's up to right now. Would have to get through here where it came up and then strong move down. So right through here is its next obstacle. Then if it gets through there, I don't think it's going to have much problem with this stuff here. Then it really could start to make a run up towards the top of the range. It's got to get through here first. Right through there. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to set an alert up here. And we can go back and look at some of the other things. We'll see if it keeps climbing. All right. I mean, we expected it, right? We expected that they were going to ramp it. So not surprising. All right. Next one is Zoom, ZM. And by the way, before I forget, Grayson is at the hospital with his wife. And she is in labor with their second child. So we're praying that everything goes smoothly and no complications, and they have a healthy baby here very shortly. I think they went to the hospital about 7:30 this morning. I just messaged him, and he said nothing major is going on yet. So she's been there about 4.5 hours. He said that like right now, nothing exciting is happening to the point that they felt comfortable to go down to the cafeteria, you know, him and his family, and get some lunch, you know, because obviously, you know, when it starts getting closer and closer. So, but anyway, we're wishing the best for Grayson. All right, so here on Zoom, our trigger was at 210.60, and it's been as high as 218. So there's a nice winner on Zoom, well over $7. So very nice one on Zoom. J&J. Now, unless something changed, I looked at J&J earlier, and it was just sort of hanging out. Let's see where J&J is now. Oh, okay, so it was just sort of hanging out here. Now it's just now triggering, if you see that. Just now starting to trigger. The trigger was at 149.33, and it has been up to 150.03 so far. So what is that? 60 cents? About 60 cents so far. But earlier it was just kind of hanging out. All right, Pepsi. Let's look at Pepsi. Let's see if Pepsi's got anything to show us. Yes, look at Pepsi. Nice. Trigger 133.28, and it's been as high as 135.16, so almost $2. If you look at this candle compared to everything else, that's a nice size candle. So very nice for Pepsi. Went right up here to the resistance level at 135.07. So a nice winner on Pepsi. Sleep Number, SNBR. And not much there. Okay, came down and poked below and then reversed, but it hasn't come all the way back up to opening. So if somebody would have been playing this, they would have triggered right here, which is 40.05, and it's been as low as 39.59, so that's 60, so that's 40, so it's about 46 cents. On Sleep Number, that might have got you a little bit of profit because it's a lower price name. Okay, Twitter. Okay, Twitter, a single candle power reversal. What I don't know, unless we go to the 30-minute, is which direction it went first. Let's look. Let's go to the 30. Okay, so it did. It went up first and then came back down through. So right here, okay, you could have entered, right, because it was a single candle power reversal and caught pretty much all of this. And this went outside of the other candle. So 36.12 down to 34.90. So that's about $1.20 something. And on Twitter, that's a good move. So that would have worked out nice for people that play Twitter. So it went up, came back down through. When it took out opening price level here, that's where you would have entered, and it went all the way through. Okay, over here, okay, ignore this. Okay, this is yesterday. So here, it went above and then came all the way back down through and took out the bottom here, becoming a single candle power reversal for over $1.20. Okay, so that's Twitter, United Airlines. I'm sorry, I got to get back to the daily. It's just so much easier to see on the daily. Okay, so right here would have been our trigger, 41.50, and it went as low as 38.30. So it is at $3. That's nice on United Airlines. That would have been your trigger down, and then it reversed back up. But over $3 to the good. Google. Now, Google was another one early in the day, was not doing much. Let's see if it changed. A little bit. Okay. When I looked at it earlier, it was just sort of hanging out right in here. Okay, triggering. Now, these candles can be deceiving. The trigger was at 1467.80, and it's been as high as 1472.03, so a little over $4. That's nothing really on Google. Okay, on a name like Google, $4 is like 40 cents, right? On another name. And then last one, and we'll be all the way through the list, is Intel, INTC. And we got a single candle power reversal here. Well, actually, it did. It's hard to see it. If I get really close, you can see there is a little bit of a bottom wick there. See it? It's tiny. Then it reversed and went all the way back through. So it just depends on if somebody would have caught that or not. Like if we go to, let's go back to the 30-minute. The 30-minute will at least show it. Okay, see that right there? And it spiked off of the 20. So there it was, and then when it comes back through, you can enter right there. You know, because the 20 is right there, I would enter above there. And then you could have rode that thing all the way up here until it started reversing. So let's look. Let's just say from about right there, let's be conservative and say 63, and then maybe an exit about right there. Say 64, so $1 right up through here, being conservative, entering above the 20 and then exiting after the pullback. So $1 on Intel. All right, let's go back over and we'll take a look at ES, see where it's at. Okay, so far has not been able to get through this area. Okay, I'll put my cursor there and you'll see it really didn't even get up to it. Okay, the bottom of this candle here, almost, but like I said, this would be an area where it would catch some resistance, and it has so far. Okay, just retreating back ever so slowly. Do it like this. There we go. Makes it easier. And I've got an alert up there. So now I'm sure, well, I shouldn't say I'm sure, but I think Powell speaks at 2:30, I think. I saw somewhere else they said the minutes get released at 2, and then he typically speaks around 2:30. So we'll see when he speaks. Does that cause another spike? Does it just stay flat the rest of the day, or do we start to see some retracement back? Those are the kind of things I would be looking for. Now, wanted to show you guys a couple of things from earlier today. All right, so here, this blue line was a 50% retracement of this move down. Okay, that was exactly 50%. And the pop here, okay, so we came up to it, we pulled down. We popped above, but we closed below. So after those 2 times, then you have to think if it tries it again, it's probably getting weaker. So this was a good play, taking this from here up to just below the 20. Okay, that was a good play there on the break of the 50. So we had this strong move down in the morning from 3:30 in the morning to 6 a.m. Then it starts moving back up. What candle is this? 7:30 in the morning. We get this pop, and that is the 3rd attempt at breaking the 50%. Okay, and as you can see, that was a strong candle. It just popped and blew right through there. Okay, so that was a good one. Another one was when this rolled over right here. Okay, you can put like an alert just below this spinning top here. Okay, and then take it, and it broke, came back up here, came back up here. Now I don't think you'd get stopped out. It came up to it. Depends on where you put your stop, but I don't think you would have got stopped out. And then boom, big flush. Big flush down, right? And then it comes back up. Now, let's see here. Here is one that I pointed out to somebody in the room. why not take the first break right here of 31.99? Okay, for me, I'm just telling you my thinking. I, at the time, had an alert right underneath this wick. So until that wick was broken or at least tested the first time, I just didn't think we were going to get through there. That's a big pivot right there. Okay, should show some strength. So it came down to it. And if you look, it never made it all the way to the bottom and then big bounce. So we broke this level right here. Then we came back, right? Retested. We went through it. And then came back down again. I had an alert set right here. Okay. It was like 31.98.50 or 31.98, something like that was where my alert was set. So played it like a break, retest, and go. And then I put it in the room, right? I put in the room that I felt like we would probably see some support around 31.83 to 31.80. So for me, that means you get out at like 31.84. I want you to look at the low of this candle, 31.8375. And then bam, look at the bounce that it took. It bounced all the way up here. Then it pushed down and it tried our trend line here for the channel, okay? That upwards channel, hit that and bounced all the way back up here. Level of structure. Obviously, this is also a contracting range, and then we get the Fed news. So to me, that was the higher probability play. If it would have broke through here on this candle, that's where I would have looked to go short from here down to here. Okay, from here down to like right in this range here, that 31.83 to 31.80. And that had to do with price action to the left. All right, but that's why you should always be conservative and exit just a little bit early from where your target really is. So my exit target was 31.84, and one tick past that caused this huge bounce. Then it came down, hit the level, hit the trend line, and then it bounced all the way up here, back down, and then we get the Fed news. So right here's where we're at currently. A little bit too early to tell if this is going to be a resting candle or if they're just going to start fading this off the rest of the day. Way too early. Still got 28 minutes to go on this candle. So anyway, there's only a couple of you in here. Thank you for joining me today. And if you have any questions, just post them in the room. But we've kind of covered ES. We watched the Fed spike, which we kind of anticipated. And now for the rest of the day, really what you're looking to see is this going to be a resting candle? And then are they going to try to take it higher? Knowing you got to get through this right here. And then if you get through that, there may be a chance of getting all the way to the top of the range, which I'll show you again, right up here, okay? If you get through over here, yeah, if you get through here, this little stuff over here is not going to slow you down, right? It's not going to slow you down. So then you would probably have a really good chance of getting up to here. Okay, so that's what you should be looking for. If price does start to fade and reverse, okay, obviously here's a level. Down here, the top of this, so right across there, okay, where I have that alert set. That's why I have it there. Okay, that potentially could be some support. If it gets below that and starts to drop, then you're looking at possibly, you got your wick here, but possibly getting back down around this level. And then if this level breaks and you can get below this wick, you could really fall all the way down to 31.4425 in that area, maybe even a little bit below. Okay, but that would be dramatic. That would be a rug pull, right? Because we're clear up here around 32.20, 32.13 right now. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. I hope everybody has a great day. And obviously I'll be checking in the room the rest of the afternoon until market closes. As you can see, we're already back down to opening price level here. We'll watch this just for a second. But anyway, I'll be checking in, and if you need anything, leave a question or post a comment, and I'll make sure to answer it. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.